Monday. How's
Monday.
that hand? How's that hand of yours? How's your hand?
I'll tell you what,
right?
man. Look, I'm going to be throwing a two-seam fastball at any point here.
Good.
So I'm going to throw it up and in on you, buddy. I'm backing you off the plate. But,
I expect you to. I expect you to.
Feeling better. Thanks for asking.
49 years ago today. 49 years ago today. What movie premiered in the city of New York? Tim Seymour.
49 years ago today. So, The Way We Were.
Great. Nice job. I like what you did there. I mean, that's a wonderful movie. No, I'm going to give you a hint. It's the greatest movie in the history of mankind. No, it's not Citizen Kane.
For Italian men, or just the greatest movie of all time?
Well, I mean,
The Godfather. It's got to be the Godfather.
It's the God. Yeah. I mean, just a ridiculous. Now, for me, ridiculous. I know there's a lot of sequels and stuff, but I would tell you. So,
Godfather.
When I think of Godfather, it's Godfather to me. 1, 2. It's a continuation of the first movie, right? So, and those movies together, you just when you put them chronologically, it's just a beautiful. It's art. It's beautiful. If it was an NFT, I'd bid $69 million that I don't have for it. Just as an FYI.
Where do you drop Godfather 3 in there?
No, see, I don't. I don't. I drop it is what I do.
I mean, Andy Garcia is not making the grade, bro.
No,
I mean,
no.
Sorry.
It's an unfortunate attempt to. They should have shelved that. I mean, Al Pacino. Al Pacino, Dog Day Afternoon, Al Pacino, Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Al Pacino, like
Panic in Needle Park. I mean,
look at you,
yeah,
Serpico.
Serpico, yeah.
But then what the '80s Pacino, and then into the '90s, it just was.
It was tough to watch. What was that movie where he was the coach of like the Raiders?
Any Given Sunday.
Sucked. That movie sucked. All right,
it's just an awful. I mean, he does. It seemed like the last 25 years, really, his roles just rely on him yelling a lot, and it's not good because.
Meanwhile, Michael was the meanest, scariest, quiet guy, soft-spoken. I mean, outside of Brando, of course, but I mean, that was Pacino's magic, man. He was
brilliant.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, the scene to me, the scene that really sets. I mean, there's so many. It's a perfect movie. They're both perfect movies. Well, perfect except the scene when Sonny's beating the shit out of Carlo, and he misses him with a punch, literally by 3 feet. But I'll give him a pass because maybe they were running low on sunlight or something. With that said, the scene that sets the tone is when Michael's in the hospital room with his father, and he realizes what's going on. Somebody's coming, and he turns to him and says, "I'm with you now, Pop." And when he says that. He wasn't just with him physically, he was all in. I'm saying? He is all in. And I love that. But, to go to the market, Tim, and I'm going to go right into your wheelhouse. I mentioned that 1 and 2 are the same movies. The scene in Godfather 2, when Hyman Roth turns to Michael and say, "Michael, we're bigger than U.S. Steel." And it's fitting today that U.S. Steel basically trades up to, now it's traded off since, but U.S. Steel traded the highest level we've seen, I want to say in like 3.5, 4 years.
Well, the incredible how you wove Hyman Roth and U.S. Steel and inflation trade.
Thank you.
No, seriously. I mean, Abe Vigoda had nothing on you in his role and what you're doing here today. Abe Vigoda, by the way. I mean, most people know him as Fish, but I mean,
no, he's Sal Tessio. He's Sal Tessio.
He is so Sal Tessio. And when you think about the chronicles of U.S. Steel, on some level, they are almost part of the script because disrespected on some level, an attempt to try to pull a fast one on U.S. Steel, which were the steel tariffs that the Trump administration threw on the rest of the world in an attempt to protect U.S. Steel, when in fact they weren't looking to protect them at all. They were looking to protect, a lot of other agenda in the administration. And I'm not going after the administration here because that's not what we do. But that marked the peak of U.S. Steel. And I think U.S. Steel peaked at around $43 somewhere in January of 2018. So it's been 3 years. And what we've seen since then is not only a dynamic where I think industrial companies went through a very difficult run, and only in the last 9 months have we seen the industrials break out. And I think the expectation, we talk about this all the time, what is the rotation? The rotation has been into transports, it's been into late cycle cyclicals that have included industrials. So steel companies right there, and then a resources trade that's getting a huge boost, not only from a weaker dollar, but from a infrastructure expectation. But look, much in the same way that maybe Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 were really the best movies of, there's no trilogy. The story for U.S. Steel is not really around help from Big Brother. It's really around their core business and actually getting more into the specialty metals that are higher margin. But more importantly, steel prices are cyclical, and it's time to ride them. So it's a balance sheet that's very sensitive. It's a much maligned company. On some level, it's maybe like Godfather 3. It's probably an overrated company because it's in the power circles of steel companies. It's very distant behind not only a Nucor, but even a PKX or a POSCO, and then a lot of the Asian steel companies really tend to be dominating on a global stage. But look, do you want to ride this trade a little bit more? I think you look at the short interest. I'm not even sure that the Reddit people have been paying attention to this, but if they do get their eyes on this, most importantly, steel prices are at 12-year highs. And I think this is a case where U.S. Steel actually still has some ways to go.
I agree with you. And you see the way we set that up, and we don't rehearse this stuff. I'm sure people say clearly you don't rehearse.
This is all you, my man. I mean, you took a 49-year anniversary and turned it into a work of art. So I'm along for the ride today, man.
So so usually we tweet out our question to the audience, and I'm sure Lukey, our great producer, will do the same. But I'm going to ask the audience. There's a way you can ascertain Don Corleone's birthday, Marlon Brando's birthday in The Godfather. What day is he born? I put that out to the Twitterati. I'm not asking you. I'm just putting it out there now.
I need some help.
If we had T-shirts to give away, I'd give them away, but we don't. Maybe in the next iteration of the commercial break. Anyway,
I'm looking for a lifeline. So let's get out of here. May the Godfather be with you, guy.
Later.